We are back. Emma, we know you are a busy manager, but life is not only about work. Let's talk about your free time. What do you like to do when you are not at the office?
That is a great question. I think it is very important to have hobbies because they help us relax. For me, my biggest hobby is cooking. I love spending time in my kitchen. Every weekend, I try to cook a new recipe from a different country. For example, last Sunday, I made Italian pasta with fresh tomatoes and basil. It was delicious.
Wow, Italian food is amazing. Do you usually cook for yourself or for your friends?
I usually invite my friends on Saturday evenings. We call it dinner night. We eat together, listen to music, and talk about our week. It is much better than going to an expensive restaurant. When you cook at home, the atmosphere is more comfortable and warm. Also, it is much cheaper.
I agree. Cooking is a very useful skill. Besides cooking, do you like any sports? Do you go to the gym?
Well, to be honest, I don't like the gym very much. It is a bit boring for me. But I love being active outdoors. Every morning before work, I go for a short walk in the park with my cat Luna. Actually, she stays in her special backpack. I also like hiking in the mountains. Since I grew up near the mountains, I feel very happy when I'm high up in nature.
Hiking is a wonderful hobby. It's good for your body and your mind. What about quiet hobbies? Do you like reading or watching movies?
Oh, I am a big bookworm. I love reading historical novels and mystery books. I usually read for 30 minutes before I go to sleep. It helps me forget about my emails and my to-do list. And about movies, I like old black and white films. They have a special magic, don't they?
They really do. They tell stories in a very different way. Emma, do you have any hobbies that help you with your English?
Yes, actually. I love listening to English podcasts, just like this one. Also, I watch YouTube videos about gardening and travel in English. Sometimes I don't understand every word, but I listen to the sounds and the rhythm. It helps me learn new words without a teacher. I also like writing a diary in English. I write 3 simple sentences every night about my day.
Writing a diary is a fantastic tip for our listeners. It is a simple way to practice every day. Thank you for sharing your hobbies, Emma. You have a very interesting life.
Thank you. I think hobbies make us who we are. They give us energy for work.
Exactly. In the next part, everyone, we are going to talk about a very popular topic, travel and future dreams. Emma, we know you are very busy at work, but what do you do when you are not in the office? Do you have any hobbies that help you relax?
Yes, of course. I think it is very important to have a balance between work and life. My favorite hobby is cooking. I love spending time in my kitchen every weekend. I usually try to cook new things like Italian pasta or French desserts. It is like a creative project for me, but I can eat the results.
That sounds delicious. Do you usually cook alone or with friends?
I usually invite my friends to my apartment on Saturdays. We cook together and talk for hours. It is much better than going to a loud restaurant. We call it our Saturday dinner club. Sometimes we also play board games after dinner. It is a very simple way to be happy and spend time with people I love.
I agree. Spending time with friends is the best therapy. Besides cooking, do you like any active hobbies? Do you go to the gym or play any sports?
To be honest, I don't like the gym. It is a bit boring for me to run on a machine. I prefer being outside in nature. Every Sunday morning, I go for a long walk in a big park near my house. I also love hiking in the mountains. When I am high in the mountains, the air is fresh and I forget all my work problems. It gives me a lot of energy for the next week.
Hiking is a wonderful hobby. What about your quiet time at home? Do you like reading or watching movies?
Oh, I'm a big bookworm. I love reading historical stories and mystery books. I usually read for 30 minutes before I go to sleep. It helps my brain relax. About movies, I really like old films, especially romantic comedies. They're very positive and they make me smile. I also have a cat named Luna, and she usually sits with me when I read or watch a movie.
A cat. That's lovely. Does Luna have any hobbies too?
Luna's hobbies are sleeping, eating, and looking out the window at birds. She's a very lazy cat, but she's a great friend. Sometimes when I practice my English out loud, she looks at me like she understands everything. It's very funny.
It's good to have a listener. Speaking of English, do you use any of your hobbies to practice the language?
Actually, yes. I love listening to English music, and I always check the lyrics to understand the meaning. I also watch YouTube videos about gardening and cooking in English. It is a fun way to learn new words without a textbook. I think when you enjoy a hobby, learning a language becomes much easier. Oh, I absolutely love traveling. For me, traveling is the best way to learn about the world and about yourself. I try to go on a big trip at least once a year. Last summer, I went to a beautiful coastal city. I spent a lot of time walking on the beach, breathing the salty air, and eating fresh seafood. It was a very different atmosphere from my busy office life.
That sounds like a perfect vacation. Do you prefer traveling alone or with a group of friends?
Usually, I like to travel with one or two close friends. It is nice to share the experience with someone. You can talk about the things you see, and it is also safer. But sometimes I like to spend one day alone in a new city. I take my camera, find a small cafe, and just watch the people. It helps me feel the spirit of the place.
I know what you mean. What is the most interesting place you have ever visited?
That's a hard question, but I think it was an old city with very narrow streets and ancient stone houses. I felt like I was in a time machine. The people were very kind, and the food was incredible. I remember visiting a small market where they sold handmade carpets and spices. The smell was amazing. I bought a small silver ring there to remember the trip.
It sounds like a magical place. Is there a country you really want to visit in the future? What is your dream destination?
My big dream is to visit Japan. I am very interested in their culture because it's a mix of very old traditions and very modern technology. I want to see the cherry blossoms in the spring and visit the quiet temples in the mountains. Also, I want to try real sushi. I think it is a very different experience from the sushi we have here.
Japan is on my list too. It's a fascinating country. Speaking of the future, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your professional or personal goals?
In 5 years, I hope to be a more experienced manager. Maybe I will lead a bigger team or work on international projects. I really want to travel for work, too. On a personal level, I want to learn a third language, maybe Spanish or French. And of course, I want to continue learning English. I want to speak it so well that I can give a presentation at a big conference without being nervous.
Those are great goals, Emma. I'm sure you can achieve them. You are very motivated. What is the most important thing for you in life? Is it success, happiness, or something else?
For me, the most important thing is happiness and peace. Success is good, but if you are not happy with your family and friends, success feels empty. I want to have a job I love, but I also want to have time for my hobbies, my cat Luna, and my parents. Life is short, so we should enjoy every moment and be kind to others.
That is a very beautiful way to think. Happiness and kindness are the real secrets to a good life. Emma, we are almost at the end of our conversation. It was so interesting to learn about your home, your job at Agro Force, and your travel dreams. Looking back at everything, how do you feel about your journey?
I feel very grateful. When I was a young student in my small town, I was very shy. I was afraid to speak to strangers, and I was very nervous about my future. But now I understand that every small step is important. Moving to the city, starting a small job, and learning a new language changed me. It made me a stronger and more confident person.
You mentioned that English changed your life. Can you explain how?
Of course. For me, English was not just a subject at school. It was a key to a bigger world. Because of English, I can read international news. I can watch my favorite movies. and I can talk to people from Japan, Brazil, or Germany. In my job at Agro Force, English helps me solve problems every day. If I didn't speak English, I couldn't have this career. It opened many doors that were closed before.
That is very inspiring. Many of our listeners are at the A2 level now. They want to speak better, but sometimes they feel frustrated or tired. What is your advice for them?
My first advice is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are our best teachers. When I started, I made many mistakes with grammar and pronunciation. Sometimes people didn't understand me, and I felt embarrassed. But that's okay. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. If the other person understands your idea, you are successful.
That's a great point. Communication is more important than perfect grammar. What else can they do to improve every day?
You need to make English a part of your daily life. You don't need to study for 5 hours a day. Just 15 minutes is enough if you do it every day. Listen to a podcast while you cook. Watch a short video before bed, or write your shopping list in English. Also, try to think in English. When you see an object, like a chair or a car, say the word in your head. Small habits create big results.
Small habits create big results. I will remember that. Emma, what is your favorite English word or expression?
I really like the expression, go for it. It's very positive. It means if you have a dream or a plan, you should try it. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. I always say this to myself when I am afraid of a new challenge.
Go for it. I love it. It's the perfect way to end our podcast. Emma, thank you so much for being here today. Your story will help many people who are starting their own English journey.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure. To everyone listening, keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, enjoy the process. You can do it.
Thank you, Emma. And to our listeners, thank you for joining the English Speaking Club today. Don't forget to check the vocabulary list in the description. See you in the next episode. Emma, we have talked about almost everything today, but I have one final deep question for you. In your busy life as a manager, traveler, and friend, how do you find peace? What is your secret to staying happy even when things are difficult?
That is a beautiful question to finish our conversation. You know, I believe that happiness is not a destination, it is a way of traveling. Many people think, I will be happy when I have a big house, or I will be happy when I get a promotion. But for me, peace is in the small moments. It is in the smell of my morning coffee, the sound of my cat Luna purring, or a short walk in the sun.
I love that. Happiness is a way of traveling. But what about those days when work is very stressful? At Agro Force, you must have many difficult days. How do you stay positive then?
When I feel stressed, I use a very simple technique. I stop what I am doing for 2 minutes, I close my eyes, and I breathe deeply. I tell myself, Emma, you are doing your best, and that is enough. Also, I try to remember my why. Why am I working? To help farmers and to grow as a person. When you remember your purpose, the stress feels smaller. And of course, talking to a friend or a family member always helps. Sharing a problem makes it half as big.
That is so true. Sharing really does help. Now, before we say goodbye to our listeners, do you have a favorite quote or a message for everyone who is watching this on the English Speaking Club channel?
Yes, I do. My favorite message is believe in your own light. Everyone has a special talent or a special story. Don't compare your life to the lives you see on social media. Your journey is unique. Learning English is part of that journey. It might be slow, it might be hard sometimes, but every word you learn makes your world a little bit bigger. Be patient with yourself, and don't forget to celebrate your small wins. If you learned 5 new words today, that is a victory.
Celebrate your small wins. That is the perfect advice for all language learners. Emma, thank you so much for your time, your honesty, and your wonderful energy. It was a pleasure to have you in our club today.
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience for me too. I hope our conversation helps someone feel more confident today.
Goodbye, everyone, and keep speaking.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening to the English Speaking Club. Remember, your voice matters. See you in the next episode.